Hey there, my pixel punching, alien blasting gamers. Today we're diving into the explosive world of Duke Nukem 3D, where the sunglasses are big and the guns are bigger. Get ready to explore how this game not only pushed the boundaries of 90s gaming, but left a footprint so deep in the gaming world, it's still pulling out the shoelaces. Our story starts back in the mid-1990s, when the gaming landscape was about to get a major shakeup thanks to the team of rebels at 3D Realms. You see, these weren't just your average developers. They were gamers crafting a universe that they'd want to explore, full of action, attitude, and a hefty dose of irreverence. Enter Duke Nukem 3D, a project that would catapult Duke from a 2D sprite into a 3D world that felt as real as pixels could render at the time. The development of Duke Nukem 3D was anything but controversial. The game was built using the Build engine, engineered by Ken Silverman. The engine was revolutionary, allowing for real-time 3D rendering that was ahead of its time. But it wasn't just about the tech, it was the bold, unapologetic vision that set the game apart. The developers wanted a game that was loud, crass, and soaked in the pop culture of the time. Duke was designed to be the ultimate 90s action hero, a blend of muscle, machoism, and a mouth that just wouldn't quit. But developing a game with such a brazen personality wasn't without its challenges. The team pushed boundaries not just in terms of technology and design, but also in content. Duke Nukem 3D was mired with controversy for its adult themes and violence. It was a game that dared to adultify the gaming experience, blending humor, horror, and a hint of hedonism in ways that had seldom been attempted before. This bold move set the stage for numerous discussions and debates about content suitability in video games, highlighting a cultural clash that was simmering beneath the surface of the mid-90s society. The brains behind Duke's bombastic personality included level designers like Richard Leave Lord Gray, whose creative genius gave life to some of the most memorable levels in first-person shooter history. Their work was a labor of love and a bit of rebellious creativity, resulting in environments filled with Easter eggs and secrets that players still discuss today. Now let's delve into the pixelated yet pulsating heart of Duke Nukem 3D, its story and characters. At its core, the game's plot is a rick-rolling ride of rescue and revenge as Duke, our macho protagonist, returns to Earth to find it overrun by a motley crew of alien invaders. The stakes? Nothing less than the fate of the world, garnished with a classic 90s flair for drama and over-the-top action. Duke himself is a character larger than life. Imagine if every action hero of the 80s and 90s had a love child with a penchant for one-liners. That's Duke for you. He's brash, he's bold, and boy, does he know it. His dialogue filled with quips and jests, often parodies or outright steals lines from iconic movies and pop culture, crafting a persona that's both familiar and uniquely Duke. But Duke wasn't just a digital tough guy. He was a symbol of the era, a caricature of the muscle-bound heroes who dominated screens of the time. His character was deliberately over the top, a walking, talking blast of testosterone who didn't just defeat his enemies, he humiliated them with style. This bravado was a major draw for players, offering an escape into a world where the good guys always win, and he does it with a smirk. The villains? A bizarre array of alien creatures, who were no less memorable. From the assault trooper to the fearsome battle lord, each enemy was designed not just as a target, but as a part of the invasive alien ecology that Duke was set to dismantle. These creatures weren't just obstacles. They were invaders in a world that echoed the real-life anxieties about outsiders and the unknown that percolated through the 90s culture. The design of these antagonists, often grotesque and menacing, added a layer of urgency to Duke's mission, enhancing the game's narrative depth. Each level and boss fight in Duke Nukem 3D was a chapter in this saga of alien invasion, with Duke cracking jokes as he cracked alien skulls. The narrative might not have been complex by modern standards, but its execution was pitch perfect for the gaming audience of the time, delivering excitement and a hefty dose of personality that many games then lacked. But enough about that. Let's blast through the nuts and bolts of what makes this game a standout in the arcade of history. Its gameplay mechanics. This game wasn't just about strutting through levels with guns blazing. It was about how you did it, with each level crafted like a mini puzzle, infused with interactivity that was groundbreaking. First off, the arsenal. Duke's weaponry was a buffet of destruction. From the trusty pistol to the devastating Devastator, each weapon wasn't just a tool for alien annihilation, but a way to interact with the environment in creative, often explosive ways. Want to see a room clear faster than a sale at a gaming store? Lob a pipe bomb and watch the fireworks. And speaking of environment, Duke Nukem 3D took environmental interaction to the next level. Buttons, levers, and hidden switches weren't just decorative, they were functional, often altering the level in ways that could either help Duke or set up for a hilarious trap for an unwary player. This added a layer of strategic depth that encouraged exploration and experimentation in a genre typically dominated by linear gameplay. Now, if you think this revelation is clever, wait till you hear this. Smash that like button and subscribe if you're enjoying these game mechanics as much as Duke enjoys his explosive escapades. Don't miss out. Your subscription helps keep these alien facts a-coming. Now back to the mechanics. The game's level design deserves a trophy. Duke Nukem 3D featured levels that were more than just shooting galleries. They were intricate labyrinths with multiple floors, secret areas, and vertical gameplay long before this became a standard in FPS games. This verticality wasn't just for show, it affected combat strategy, allowing players to ambush enemies from above or make tactical retreats to lower levels. Moreover, the game introduced a camera item that could be used for remote viewing, adding a layer of surveillance strategy that allowed players to scope out upcoming threats or hidden areas. This tool underscored the game's emphasis on foresight and planning, a nod to the more cerebral aspects of combat often glossed over in shoot-'em-ups. So when Duke Nukem 3D hit the shelves, it didn't just sell, it exploded like one of Duke's pipe bombs. Right out of the gate, this game was a commercial juggernaut, with millions of copies flying off the shelves faster than you could say, "Hail to the king, baby!" This game didn't just find an audience, it grabbed it by the collar and dragged it to the nearest arcade. By the end of 1996, it was clear that Duke wasn't just a character, he was a phenomenon, helping drive the success of 3D Realms and cementing its place in gaming history. But it wasn't just about units sold. The impact of Duke Nukem was monumental. Duke became a mascot for the gaming rebellion against the politically correct culture of the 1990s. His brash demeanor and unapologetic machoism made him a controversial figure, emblematic of the debate surrounding violence and sexism in video games. This debate reached beyond gamers, influencing discussions in mainstream media and becoming a point of contention in the broader dialogue about media influence. In terms of industry impact, Duke Nukem 3D pushed developers to think outside of the box. It was one of the pioneers of mature-rated content in video games, paving the way for titles like Grand Theft Auto and God of War, which also explored adult themes and complex narratives. Duke's world was more than a playground of destruction, it was a battleground where the limits of video game content were tested and expanded. Additionally, the game's success spurred a multitude of merchandise, spin-offs, and even talks of a Hollywood movie. Duke Nukem branded everything from action figures to apparel, embedding itself not just in game cartridges, but in the cultural fabric of the time. Now let's crank up the intrigue and dive into some of the coolest trivia, Easter eggs, and lesser-known nuggets that Duke Nukem 3D tucked away in its pixel-packed levels. First up, did you know that Duke Nukem 3D contains a cheeky nod to another video game legend? Here's your trivia question. Which classic video game character makes a cameo appearance in a rather grisly scene in Duke Nukem 3D? The answer? Doom's protagonist, Doom Guy. In a secret area in the 4th episode, you can find a deceased Doom Guy, to which Duke quips, "That's one Doom Space Marine." Next, let's talk about the secret levels. Duke Nukem 3D features several hidden levels that players can access through secret exits found in various standard levels. One of the most famous is Lunatic Fringe, which can be accessed from the Dark Side level. This secret level not only offers new challenges, but are also packed with references to pop culture and other video games, making them a treasure trove for eagle-eyed players. And here's another trivia for you. What does Duke say when he squishes an enemy under his mighty boot? If you guessed, "What a mess," then you're right on the money. This line not only highlights Duke's macho humor, but also emphasizes the interactive nature of environment where even the simple act of stepping can become a moment of gruesome comedy. Did you also know that Duke Nukem 3D was one of the first games to feature a functional mirror? Yeah, little known fact. Early in the first level, players can find a mirror that not only reflects Duke's image, but also reacts dynamically to gunfire and explosions. This was a significant technical achievement at the time and added an extra layer of immersion to the game. And just like Duke Nukem's last pack of bubblegum, we're all out of time, folks. Remember, when life gets tough, channel your inner Duke. Slap on those sunglasses, load up your arsenal, and blast through the chaos. Until next time, keep your ammo handy and your wits sharper. Game on and goodbye. If you enjoyed exploring the history of Duke Nukem 3D, click this video here to see more from the Retro Reload. And as always, thank you for watching.